November 2023, December 15th, December 31st, January 12th, January 19th, or January 26th. When is Kanye's new album Vultures actually dropping? All of those dates were possibilities at some point, or are now viewing it from today, January 11th, so a day before a possible release date when it's not going to be dropping. The next 2 weeks might be possible release dates, as we've now gotten evidence for, but none of them ever came true or might ever come true. So today we'll talk about the news that we have on the release date and if this thing is actually dropping at all. So let's jump straight into this. If you want to stay up to date with everything surrounding hip-hop, make sure to subscribe and also become a part of this community by joining our Discord server in the description. Real quick, if you don't want to listen to this, make sure to skip 10 seconds into the future, but you can now sign up for my free newsletter with the first link in the description. It comes every Sunday and it recaps everything that's been happening in hip-hop over the past week, so make sure to do that. Y'all see me, I even dressed up nice for Kanye today. But as I just went over, all of those dates were possible release dates for Vultures. And now we have evidence that it might be dropping in the next 2 weeks, which we can believe or we can't. Let's go over them and let's see how legitimate they actually are compared to the other ones we have that never came true. So let's start with one that you might have seen on Twitter or on my Discord, which is that somebody investigated the source code for the pre-save link. So the link where you can save the album on Spotify, on Apple Music, on everywhere. And this guy found out that in the source code, there is a release date of January 26th, 2024. So in 2 weeks. So this is, in 2 weeks, 2 weeks later than the one we had for January 12th. This is good though, because that means at least they're putting in a new release date and the album is not getting canceled or scrapped. So this is honestly one that I could believe, because 2 weeks ahead in the future is enough time to still manage a somewhat good rollout for this. But things get even more interesting as we take a look at more evidence. For example, over the past couple of hours, a lot of people reported that if they go to the Apple Music site for this album, the not so reliable source that we've had so far when it came to the release date of this thing, y'all remember that was the one we had December 15th, December 31st, and also January 12th. But if you go to it right now, or at least a lot of people reporting this, it says January 19th, which would be next week. And this would be a week earlier than the January 26th that we found out through the source code. So which one is correct? We don't know. Here's an even more interesting part. If I go to Apple Music and I just search for, Kanye West, Vultures, Apple Music, and I go to the page where there's all the tracks, there's the one Vulture single, you can see everything like the one that the guy also posted. For me, it still says December 31st, 2023. So for some people, it's in January 19th. For me, it's still the 31st. For others, it's still January 12th, like we believed up to this point, so nobody really knows. What is kind of, factual, or what we can expect to happen, is that it's not going to be dropping tomorrow on the 12th, like we've discovered through the Forbes article where a representative reached out to Forbes and told them that it would not be coming out on January 12th and that it doesn't have a release date. So does it have a release date? Are any of those dates, the 19th or the 26th, are they actually the release date? To me, it still seems like placeholders. To me, it just seems like Apple Music saw that this album wasn't coming out tomorrow on the 12th, so they just advanced the release date a week into the future. So I believe that the Apple Music one is the least reliable one, the least legit one. If anything, I believe the pre-save link for the 26th is more likely. Also considering that they need some time to roll this thing out, so it would make sense to have a release date further in the future. So that's what I get from this. Now, if it drops next week, I'll be more than happy because I really want this album. I'm just saying, I'm thinking the 26th is more, is more tangible than the 19th. Also, regarding that representative I talked about in the last video, I said that it might be Yes Jules from, Jules from Yes Jules, that we've talked about quite a lot over the course of this rollout, who was also the one that went live on IG when Kanye had the rant in his hotel room after the Las Vegas listening party. A lot of Kanye pages are now really hating on her, saying that she's not a reliable source. She was kind of in there for the clout, and you see a lot of the Jules hate, and so I don't want to say that she's a reliable source. We've kind of had her as a source in the past, but I think it's time to move away from that because it seems like she's not a reliable representative. We still don't know if she was the one talking to Forbes, but she was the one, I believe, talking to Billboard. There was an article a couple of weeks back where she said it was coming out December 31st or something, so that was wrong too. So don't take her as a reliable source. Maybe that changes, but that's kind of the common knowledge right now. Now, another reason why I believe the 26th would be a better date to drop than the 19th is that I think that they should drop a single. I mean, we had the Vulture single that didn't have a lot of impact. Then we had the leaks or the rumors that everybody would be dropping on December 29th, which then also never happened. We had a couple of infos from DSPs, from people working close with Kanye, that the single would be dropping that night and be the second single for this album, which honestly had more hype than Vultures, because Vultures just surprise dropped and everybody had snippets for it a couple of weeks prior. So people were very excited about this single, and I think that this could, be good for the momentum of this album to actually drop with a big single accompanying it. And if they don't drop tonight, so on the 12th, for then to release the album on the 19th, then it's got to be single on the 19th and then releasing on the 26th. I know a lot of this is just coping with it because it might just not drop on any of those dates, but if they're going for one of the two, then I believe the later one would make more sense if they don't drop tonight. You get what I'm saying? Also, another thing that I forgot in the last video where I went over if this thing is actually canceled or not, and I came to the conclusion that it is not canceled because we have so many sources on this. We have so much evidence. They did listening parties. We have a cover. We have a track list with all of the track names on there, which we didn't have for all of these scrapped albums from Kanye so far. And one thing that I forgot to mention is that he obviously also dropped merch for this, and you could already purchase the merch, which would be vinyls, which would be t-shirts or, shorts, also the Yeezy pots or those foldable shoes that he got. So all of that is available. So for me, it seems like if you put out that much, then you gotta drop the album. So I still hold by that point that I believe the album is dropping. Right now, I'm convinced of the 26th, even though that's a very, not a strong convincing of that, but it's still like a little bit there, maybe coping a little bit, but I don't think the 19th, I don't think it's going to be next week, to be honest with you. It's a mess, I know, but we're here for it. I love y'all. Thank you for being with me on this ride. I say that a lot, but maybe it drops next week and we never talk about it again, obviously, so let's enjoy this while it's happening. A lot of people in the comments saying, chill out, it's going to drop when it's dropped. Obviously, yes, but we're the fan base. We're making theories on this. We're having our fun with the rollout, and we want the music, and it's going to be so much better for it. So let me know when you think this is actually dropping, and let me know what you think of all the news we now heard on the 26th or the 19th in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and y'all take care.